Welcome, students. I am Aurora, the artificial intelligence system on Spacegate Station. In this episode, the scientist aboard Spacegate will be helping you to understand some of the basic forms of energy, including light, heat, sound, electrical, chemical, potential, and kinetic. They will also discuss the basics of how solar energy systems operate. Please stand by for transfer to Spacegate Station.
Professor Schofield, I just finished evaluating the data for the solar power array wings, and I've transferred it to your tablet. It's still not operating at an optimal level.
I'm receiving the data now. You're right. Power output's nowhere near system's minimum operating guidelines.
I guess we just have to wait for NASA to evaluate and let us know what to do.
It may take a while. I just hope we don't start losing systems due to low power output.
Specialist Barber.
Yes, Aurora?
I was informed that you and Professor Schofield are both working on an issue with the station's solar array.
That's correct, we are.
May I be of assistance?
I'd be happy to have you help, Aurora. However, I'm not familiar with your database or your understanding of the science of energy.
Processing. Energy is the ability to do work. Energy is how things change and move, and it takes on all sorts of forms. The most common types of energy are chemical, electrical, heat, sound, light, kinetic, and potential energy.
That's correct, Aurora. That was a great list of the most common forms of energy. However, do you understand their applications in their various forms?
Of course, Professor Schofield. Chemical energy comes from the interaction between atoms and molecules. It is energy stored in the bonds that exist between them. This energy is released during chemical reactions and can be converted into other forms of energy. A chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances are converted to one or more different substances. Electrical energy is generated by the movement of electrons. Electrons carry a negative charge and are found in atoms, the building blocks of everything around us. When electrons flow through a conductor, such as a wire, they create an electric current. This flow of electrons is what we refer to as electricity. Heat is the energy produced by all the molecules in a substance that are moving. Heat energy comes from molecules of different temperatures which are either combined or touching each other. Heat flows from hot objects to cool objects because of their difference in temperature. Sound energy is caused by the physical vibration of air particles or molecules. When an object vibrates, it creates sound waves that travel through the air or other mediums. These waves can be heard by our ears and are interpreted as sound. Sound requires a medium, such as air, water, or solids, to travel through. Light energy comes from hot objects like lasers, bulbs, and the sun. It is made up of electromagnetic radiation that contains a special particle called photons, which are minute packets of energy.
That was very well done, Aurora. Specialist Barber. You know, she omitted kinetic and potential energy in her descriptions.
That is strange. Aurora has a very comprehensive database. Aurora, in your last description, you missed both potential and kinetic energies.
I am sorry. Apparently there was a minor power fluctuation when I was accessing my memory core. Processing. Kinetic energy is the energy an object has due to its motion. If an object is moving at the same speed, it will maintain the same kinetic energy. If an object is moving faster, then it has more kinetic energy. The more mass a moving object has, the more kinetic energy it has. An airplane flying has more kinetic energy than a person on a bicycle because the airplane has more mass. Potential energy describes the energy that is stored in an object and is just waiting to be used. Many things start out having potential energy, and then once they begin to move, the energy becomes kinetic. One way to store potential energy in an object is related to its position. The higher an object is from the ground, the more potential energy it has. A ball on the roof of a building has more potential energy than a ball on a desk because it can fall farther. Another way to store potential energy is a spring. Potential energy can be stored in objects by tension, like when you stretch a rubber band, or compression, like when you squeeze a spring. When the potential energy is released by the band or the spring, it is converted to kinetic energy.
That was very good, Aurora, but could you give Professor Schofield maybe a more practical example of the process of both kinetic and potential energies?
Of course, Specialist Barber. As a roller coaster car moves to the top of a hill, it gains potential energy. The higher the car rises, the more potential energy it has. When the roller coaster car moves down the track, it has kinetic energy. As it falls, its kinetic energy increases and its potential energy decreases. Therefore, During its trip down the hill, both potential and kinetic energy exist at the same time, just in changing amounts.
That was excellent, Aurora. Your database is very well developed, and I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to help us with our evaluation of the solar array wings.
Processing. Solar array wings or panels consist of solar cells. These cells have 2 layers of a material called silicon with a different conductive material between them. The top layer of silicon has lots of particles that contain electrons, which are negatively charged. When sunlight hits this silicon layer, many of these electrons are knocked loose. They then pass through the conductive material and are absorbed by the bottom layer of silicon, which has a positive charge. This creates a form of electricity known as direct current.
As always, Aurora, you're correct. But our problem is the solar panel arrays are not collecting enough sun's energy to sufficiently power the space station.
Specialist Barber, the station has reached a critical point in our power reserves. If power output is not restored to nominal levels, we may have multiple system failures.
I was afraid of that.
Aurora, please run a diagnostic on the solar array system.
Processing. The solar array equipment is functioning properly. However, insufficient wattage is being received by the battery storage system.
You know, Professor Schofield, maybe we're looking at this problem the wrong way.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe it's not the solar panel array, maybe it's the sun.
Specialist Barber, I am confused. We are presently in space and have an uninterrupted view of the sun.
Here, as you can see, if I move the angle of the panel so that there's more sunlight reaching it, the voltage will go up. We just recently made changes to SpaceGate's orbit. I bet Mission Control forgot to compensate for these changes when it sent us the information for the solar array panel's orientation.
You know, I bet that's it. Why don't you manually redirect the station's panels for optimal position in relation to the sun?
Will do. Aurora, please adjust the gimbal, the alpha gimbal, for the station, which follows the rotation of the station as it orbits around the sun, and the beta gimbal, which adjusts for the angle of the orbit using these calculations.
Adjusting the alpha and beta gimbal as directed.
Now all we can do is wait and see what happens.
Look, the power output's increasing. I think you solved the problem, Specialist Barber.
I confirm that the power output is now increasing to a level that is above the minimum safe requirement for station operational needs.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, looks like another successful problem solved by the SpaceGate science team.
That is what we do here. Well, I guess now we need to submit our report to NASA explaining how we solved the power issue here at the station.
Should make for some interesting reading.
Agreed. Oh, and Aurora, thanks for your help.
You are more than welcome, Specialist Barber. This concludes our latest episode of SpaceGate Station. Please join us on our continuing adventures as the crew of SpaceGate Station provides engaging enrichment or remediation-based instruction to improve your understanding of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Terminating communication with Earth.